the opposite of what we've been hearing based on the policies that were issued before, and that's reduced filing fees. So while filing fees have gone up for a majority of individuals, I also represent clients. Hi there, good morning. I represent clients who are currently going through humanitarian based immigration. So that means T visa, U visa, VAWA, and adjustment of status related to all of those fields. And we at the office have been sorting through, okay, what are the new fees now that it's April 1st? What exactly do we have to pay for our clients based on the forms that we're filing? And so we're paying a lot closer attention to that. And this is where I want to bring up to you the good aspect of this change is that they've extended fee exemptions, meaning zero fees for humanitarian based applications under the T visa, VAWA, the U, special immigrant juveniles. Now, when you, before the change, for example, say with the T, before when we were filing for our T visa applicants, if they needed a waiver, they would have to pay the $930 to get forgiveness for a past violation. That is no more. They're going to get a fee exemption automatically, zero. So all the applications that are associated with the application is now zero. So if the relatives, the derivatives that apply along with my client for T status, um, we apply for their work permits, and guess what? No more do the derivatives. So the derivatives don't have to pay a filing fee for the work permit when they're applying for the work permit along with their relative who is applying for the T visa. Adjustment of status for VAWA and T and U and the special immigrant juveniles and asylum. Right. So I just said, do you do SIJ? So absolutely give us a call and we can do an evaluation first to make sure and then move forward with the SIJS. But we want to make sure that so the SIJS is for juveniles, either they don't have a parent, at least one of their parents here, or they're unaccompanied. They have neither of their parents here in the U.S. And that could be as a result of abandonment, or mistreatment. And if that's the case, they can move forward through the process of eventually getting their green card. They get deferred action first and then their green card. So give us a call and we'll talk about what the situation is. We have to go through multiple steps in this process. So first you have to get a predicate order from the court in the state that you're residing in. And then once that predicate order is issued, this has to be done in most states before the child turns 21. Not 21, in most states before they turn 18. In some states like Minnesota, it's 21. So it varies based on the state, but you want to make sure as soon as you know this, that you get in touch, schedule an appointment, and we can evaluate you for this. Anyway, I just want to say, to bring this to your attention, that this is all the more reason to apply now, because all the fees associated with filing with these types of applications, VAWA, TU, they no longer have the adjustment of status fee, the work permit fees. Those are now exempt. So throughout the process here, I am sharing, by the way, I'm sharing a screen here, a handout that I quickly looked over to give me a summary of these waivers, these exemptions. And this is on YouTube, by the way, but I'm going to read this out. This is just a sample. And what they're listing here is the for example, the T visa initial petition, that has always been zero. But the I-192, that's the waiver, is zero. Application for waiver of passport, 0. Application to extend non-immigrant status, that's if you're seeking to extend the T status, that's 0. I-485, when you're doing adjustment of status from T to green card, that's now 0. Keep in mind, before you had to pay $1,225 for this. It's 0 now. I-601 waiver, it's 0 now. It used to be $930. I-824, that's where they have to send it out to an embassy for the derivative. That's now 0. I-131, 0. That's for the travel document. Even if you have to appeal, it's 0 to appeal. No filing fee if you're appealing a T visa decision. I-765, work permit, 0. Work permit, which is usually for the derivatives. So meaning you have a spouse, you have children applying for you, 0. VAWA, same thing. All the applications that we have to apply along with the VAWA petition are now 0. Adjustment of status used to be $1,225. It's now 0. I-212 and I-601, those are there to get forgiveness for certain inadmissibilities, now 0. I-601A, it's now 0. I-131 travel document, 0. Appeal, 0. Travel work permit application, 0. So all of the applications that have to be filed along with these humanitarian based applications are now a 0 fee. All right. And then just to go ahead, I'm just showing you here. I want to make sure I give proper credit. The summary where I got this was from the Immigrant Legal Resource Center. So that's where they issued this handout that has given me a really good summary of what fees are now exempt under um, the new fee policy. So it's not all bad here. Don't let the fee increase. Does the 0 fee include asylum cases? So I believe it does. So before it was 0 for work permits for the asylum, adjustment of status, it should be 0 as well. So yes, I believe it is exempt. If once you're going from asylum, you've been granted asylum, you're applying for the green card, 0 travel document is going to be 0 as well. So that is awesome, right? That's good news. So this is all the more reason to make a move because I always believe that you have to invest. Even if the price is yes high, it's a lot. You have to invest, right? And so sometimes paying these filing fees, it's necessary for the investment. But here, it means that they're encouraging you to apply where you qualify, apply, and they're trying to give you a reason where it doesn't cost you. They're trying to take away that obstacle for you to apply. So take this as a sign here to get moving on your process because when it comes to family based, so there are some the bad news is that when it comes to regular family based, not humanitarian, the fees have even increased a bit. So, for example, there is now an increase on a fee if you have to renew your your family based work permit. Before there was no fee. Now I believe it's 260 a fee to then do the renewal of a family-based work permit through adjustment of status. So fees have increased. Adjustment of status through family-based is 1,440. So fees have increased for family-based, employment-based immigration, but they have made it a lot easier for some applicants who do have obstacles. You're applying for the T, you're applying for VAWA, you're applying for SIJS, you're applying for the U visa because you're in a tough spot to begin with. And they have reduced these fees to reduce the obstacles that it presents to you in regard to the cost. So that is good news, and I'm So glad that I can share this with you. Now, let us go on to answer some questions here. I'm going to go through really quickly so I can get through some questions before heading out. So let's see. Can a H-1B visa holder file for a green card on their own? Not It's not given that H-1B visa holder can apply for the green card. However, you do have, they leave it open. So for example, it's called a dual intent visa, because if you happen to change your mind while you're on the H-1B and apply for the green card, of course you qualify, they're not going to hold it against you for, say, a renewal of the H-1B. However, to qualify, you have to qualify like everybody else. Do you have an employer who's now going to petition for you? Do you qualify for the national interest waiver? Maybe you have gained enough knowledge, experience, you have an advanced degree to now apply for your own green card through the national interest waiver. Do you have extraordinary ability that qualifies you for the extraordinary ability green card, which is referred to as EB1, NIW, national interest waivers referred to as EB2. Do you have a family member who, is ready to petition for you, or have they petitioned for you years ago, and now it's time to apply for adjustment of status? So it just depends on what your circumstances are. So the option is open for you, but if you qualify through family, through employment, through your education, through your skills, you still have to qualify for those. How long after get your receipt notice do you get notice for biometrics? I'd say 2 to 3 months after. So I'm noticing they're coming hard and fast. Those biometrics are coming hard and fast. So they're really, right now, before it was 2 months, now I'm seeing even 4 to 6 weeks until the biometrics comes after we get the receipt notice. How long after filing the T visa will it be granted? That's a work permit and social. So I know it can range between 6 months to 18 months, on average, about a year. Can I get a visa for both me and my baby? How much is that? So it depends on what kind of visa. And you'll have to get that at the embassy, and it depends on a lot of your facts here. How about the I-130? I-130, the fees have increased. So I'd have to look at the chart to see what the fees are. But yeah, those have increased. Does I-130 and I-485 get approved same time for AOS? Sometimes I see that I-130 gets approved first, which is the hardest petition to get approved. For example, in the marriage-based process. So once you have the I-130 that's approved, it means that it's very likely they're going to waive the interview and issue the green card, but they just have to see if they have everything they need to make a decision on the I-485. So that's what I've been seeing lately. Applying for regular visa for me and my 10-month-old, how much would that cost? So I believe the visa right now, if it's a visitor's visa, is 160 per applicant. How long after RFE for an I-130 for a child that's not in the US does it take for them so it could be a few weeks. So I guess, when does the decision come after an RFE? Could be a few weeks, could be up to maybe even 4 months. Is biometrics fee now included in I-485 for marriage-based green card? So I usually, when I am doing the calculations, I usually include the biometrics fees. It's with the 1440, it does include the biometrics fee. How long does the asylum process take? It can take up to 8 years. In that time, what happens is the applicant can get their work permit, their social. Right now, they're issuing 5-year work permits and social security that keeps them settled throughout this time, but it can take a while. Can asylum be filed after 15 years of overstayed visa? You're well past the deadline, and so you'd have to show changed circumstances is now leading you to apply for asylum. So yours would be a little more complicated. I sent my case off to USCIS. How long before I get response on, or how can I track? Make sure you send by a courier, or if you're going to send it through post office, make sure you have tracking on it. Don't get a couple stamps and put it on there without having a tracking number, because you want to make sure you have confirmation it got there. Once it gets there, then you're going to have to wait for the receipt notice to know what they're doing with your case and that they've officially started processing your case. They've accepted it and processed it. How long will the I-130 take? If the petitioner dies, he was a green card holder. So if they pass away, then it means that the petition will no longer be valid. I mean, there are certain cases where you can do a reinstatement, but you have to meet very specific criteria, and it depends on your circumstances. Cross the Mexico border. My partner just joined the military. Can you marry him? So you can get married to your partner, of course. And once you get married, since he's a member of the military, there's what's called parole in place that does grant you the ability to get permission. It gives you a type of parole that allows you to stay here and then also allows you to adjust status. How long it take to get back your passport from the embassy when you're doing a K-1 visa? So it should take a week or two, but if they need something more, it might take longer. If your case is saying no future hearings for this case, what does that mean? So maybe it's not scheduled yet, but you should have gotten, if they terminated your case, you should have gotten notice of that. I have a lawyer, but can I use someone else to help? So you always have the right to change lawyers, but so I wouldn't, you know, you always, you as a client always have the right to evaluate your attorney's performance and decide whether they're right for you and change lawyers. So you're not you should not be forced to stay with a lawyer. All right, so let me come here. I'm just going through each platform, so bear with me. All right, so here I'm on YouTube, so put your questions in. I just want to ask my son's case. He's from the Philippines, F2A category. He's documentarily qualified since June 2022, and priority date is March 2020, and the visa bulletin is already September 2020. Until now, no interview. So it depends on the embassy. So the embassy, even, when they start to process your case, they're just counting until the NVC. So the processing time just goes up until the NVC is ready to start processing your case. It doesn't actually include your wait for the interview. Do I need to worry? So if the embassy's, backlogged on interviews, it shouldn't be a problem, but make sure you call, contact them if it's taking too long. How much they charge for applying for a travel document. So I'd have to look at the chart to tell you what the current cost is. But for travel documents for the humanitarian categories is now zero. What about work authorization? Same. How can I apply for travel documents? I got a green card. Can you give me how can I apply for travel documents? I got the green card. If you have a current and valid green card, you do not need to get a travel document. And even if your green card was expired, you wouldn't be applying for a travel document. You would then have to go ahead and apply to extend your green card or remove conditions on the green card, and then you can use the extension you get in the receipt notice to continue to live your life as a green card holder. So once you become a green card holder, you don't need to apply for travel documents anymore. Does T Visa have a waiver available for felony possession of drug cocaine less than a gram? That was 20 years ago. Now, yes, we do apply. Now, this is the thing about the T Visa is that it is It allows the forgiveness of offenses, even permanent bars, by the way. Even if you're permanently barred, as such the case with a drug conviction, it can still allow you to get forgiveness for this so you can get the T visa. And then here's the part that really makes the T visa something, an option you need to be thinking about. And by the way, we have achieved this for our clients. Once it is forgiven, once the no matter what it was, I mean, there are certain very narrow cases where they will not, there's no waiver. For example, terrorism, threat to national security, those waivers not available. But with every other situation, the waiver is available. And once it's forgiven, once the officer makes a decision, of course, it's based on their discretion, but they make a decision to forgive it, it means that you can move on to get the green card, because the forgiveness on that waiver wipes out the inadmissibility. A lot of people don't know that this is available through the T visa, but this is what also makes it worth pursuing. Is in other cases you're subject to the perm. For example, say you were deported and then you snuck back into the country. That's a permanent bar, right? But under the T visa, you could get forgiveness for it, and when you're ready to apply for the green card, they're not going to use it against you anymore. What the next step in VAWA case after you receive travel document and work permit prima facie. So it means you have your travel document, work permit, you have everything you need to get settled. And then you wait for a decision on your VAWA petition first and then move on to the green card. Good afternoon. My wife is citizen. She submit how long I'm gonna get the work permit last month. Please, you 3 to 6 months is the time I'm seeing now. How difficult it is to prove a dismissed arrest record when filing a marriage-based green card? It shouldn't be difficult at all. Now, if they have, you just get the certified court decision showing the dismissal. If it's expunged, then you would have to go to the court to write a letter explaining that your case has been expunged and it is no longer available. But you would have to do it that way. So it shouldn't be too difficult though. I can't travel internationally with just green card. I need passport, my country, I can't get passport. So you'd have to work with your country on getting your passport. My husband came with asylum and we want to file for his green card. I'm a US citizen. Would the process be different? So it depends. If he is in court and going through asylum, it might be more complex. But if he came in with a visa, then applied for asylum, it going through the marriage-based process may still be okay. But always get legal advice, because we have to understand your facts to determine whether it's advisable for you to go that route. If you overstay your B1 visa and to choose to return home, can you still file for a T visa? I'm so glad you brought this up, because once you leave the country after you've left the situation, you will not qualify, because there's one particular requirement that you have to make sure you meet, and that is the present on account of the trafficking, meaning you have to still be in the country. So if you leave, they then say that you left, so it must not be an issue for you anymore. So before you leave, make sure you understand the remedies that you have available to you so you can wait to get that benefit. Good day. What step can I take if I travel on my visa and stay 4 years and my visa not expired yet and I have 2 baby here? So I'm undocumented. What step can I take to get my status? So what you need to do is, this is very general information, and the way that I'm able to help my clients is through the scheduled time that we do a detailed consultation. That's where I determine, based on a lot more details than this, whether my clients qualify for some form of relief to get their status. In this case, also please note that you say you got a 10-year visa. If once you overstay, even if it's a 10-year visa, even if it has not expired, it's no longer valid in the system, because once you overstay even a day, it can invalidate your visa. How soon after marriage should someone contact you uh, to so as how soon after? Sometimes I say, you don't get, before you even get married, give me a call, because you want to know exactly what you should be doing when you're applying for your marriage based process, right? You want to be prepared. So it can never be too early for you to get in touch. I've had people consult with me a year before, and then we get started a year after. So, it's always good to have that legal guidance before you do anything. How soon after marriage should someone contact you? So, I answer that. When can our child petition for parents to receive green card? When they get to 21. How long is taking for I-130 petition? 9 to 12 months. Uh, Hi, good day. Can apply for a T visa. I don't have any proof, but have a lot of experience working at the hotel. Give us a call. Now, proof is going to look different for different cases. And this is why the immigration service is very flexible on what you can provide. And so they are going to, for example, your detailed statement, your declaration can be accepted as evidence as long as it's credible. So it depends on what your facts are. Good day. So give us a call, schedule your appointment. Good day. What is the average time are you seeing for employment based green card petition approvals for someone already in the US on an H-1B visa? So 6 months to 12 months for the decision on the petition alone. Of course, before the petition, there has to be possible Department of Labor, unless you're exempt from it, Department of Labor certification, which can take 6 months to 18 months in addition to the petition. Good day. If I married a US citizen and he filed for my kids, would they become citizens as well? No. Hello there. Please check. All right. All right. So give us a call if you're ready to get started. Give us a call. Can I use my work permit to get a driver's license or to go to school? Yes, absolutely. Yes, you get the work permit, you get your social security. It is actually, that's the one thing that a lot of people need to show that they have permission to be here and to get the driver's license. All right. In the event you have a family emergency in your country of origin while under T visa, are you able to travel and return? So it's possible. So they do allow T visa applicants to apply for advanced parole. But it really depends on the current climate, the politics, what is the culture, or what's the approach of the current administration. It really is tied to that. But they do allow T visa holders to apply for the travel document. It's just that one of the things, I can never give a blanket statement saying you can all get T's and travel to your country, because it all depends on facts here, and it depends on the complexity of your case. It depends on different factors. I want uh, I want to use affidavit to change my date of birth. So I'm not sure what that's regarding. But this is where it's important to get legal advice. Please, how long does it take to receive VAWA receipt notice? So 2 to 4 weeks. All right. What are the reduced fees? So I went over that in the early part. VAWA, TU, asylum, SIJS. So a number of humanitarian-based applications no longer have to pay the associated filing fees. So before they had to pay for the work permit for their derivatives, for T's, U's, they had to pay for their adjustment of status application fees, travel document fees. Those are now zero if you're applying under one of those categories. So that's where the reduced fees come in. When can I reapply for a visa after being placed under administrative processing? So if you're placed under administrative processing, it means you're in this gray area where your case is going to go could possibly go very slowly. Can you apply for a visa at the same time? Yes, but then you will face an uphill battle. I don't know what your situation is, but this is where it's important to get advice. Can we get a green card through a work permit and advance parole? No. So actually, it's the opposite. You get a work permit and advance parole while you're applying for the green card or for a certain benefit or relief, like asylum, TU. But the green card, the work permit and advance parole don't get you the green card. My brother put in his marriage paperwork over 6 weeks and don't get back a response. Yeah, 6 weeks is pushing it. Now, one thing I do recommend, track it. If it got there, they have it. It's just that when it goes to 6 weeks, it might mean that they're going to reject it. Maybe they didn't accept it. So you have to wait for them to reject it and send back the reason for the rejection, or they might be backed up, or they might be transferring it to another center, and that's why it's taking that long. Where are you located? In Boca Raton, Florida. We have also moved our office, by the way, to Delray Beach. So that's the neighboring town in Florida to Boca. But it doesn't matter because I represent my clients all over the country. So no matter where you are, I can help. But that's where we are. Good afternoon. So they sent me an electronic notice for our fee on I-485. What does that mean? So so electronic notice. Did you read the notice? If you have access to notice, it means that they want evidence from you. So they want some evidence. You have to read the notice to understand what they're asking for. How long after biometrics they send the work permit? So it depends on your case type. But family based, about 3 to 6 months. VAWA is gonna be at the 8 month mark to 12 month mark. Does paying taxes help with your case after being denied? If you have to show good moral character, it can. How long does it take to receive VAWA receipt notice? I'd say 2 to 4 weeks. All right, I'm gonna do the last question and then head out. Why do you keep getting green card extensions? Because they're really backed up. So they're just giving you the extension so that you can keep working, traveling, and doing what you do while they process your application. My grandmother filed for my mother, visa fees, everything was paid for my sister and I as well. Now my mother received her interview date. Our names are not listed on it, not sure what went wrong. So there might be an age out issue where you've aged out so that you no longer qualify to go along with your mother. That might be it. I don't know your case. I'm not your attorney. So this is where it's important to reach out and get legal advice. After overstaying my visa, if I return, can my parents file for me even though I'm over 21 and there's would be now be a ban? They could file for you, but you're gonna have to wait a very long time outside of the country. At least if you overstayed by 6 months, you're gonna be banned for 3 years. If you overstay by a year, you're gonna be barred for 10 years. You have to wait out that time, or you have to get forgiveness before you can re-enter the country. Good day. How long after filing for adjustment of status it takes to get approved? So right now, I'd say the average is 10 to 12 months. If you cross the border and place into removal, can you get married to a citizen and adjust? It's going to be a lot harder. So they will hold you to a higher standard, that you have to show that your marriage is bona fide, and you have to show clear and convincing evidence. That's a very high standard to meet, and the court will decide that. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for your time. I really appreciate it. These were all good questions. Please continue to join me. As I said before, follow me so that you can follow me, subscribe so that you can see when I come on, because sometimes it gets busy and I come on outside of the hours that I'm usually on, which is around lunchtime. So just continue to follow me. And then as soon as you see that I'm on, join me and then start putting your questions in the comments and I will answer it as I scroll through. Thanks again. Now, here's the important part. I leave it to you. I give you general information, but it's not personalized legal advice. And I leave it to you to determine now what kind of assistance you need. One of those ways where you can get the help is by calling and scheduling an appointment with me, and we can see if you can qualify for a form of relief or a form of benefit that can get you your work permit and your benefits to stay here and get residence. So go to the link in the profile, go to the description of the video on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and on TikTok. It's at the very top. If you scroll to the very top of the comment section or the chat section, you'll see the number for the firm, but also go to the link in the profile. You'll see my number there in the link tree. You can see the website, which has a number. You can schedule your own appointment too as well. So you don't have to necessarily call, but if you want to call and talk to someone for assistance first, feel free to do it. They're there to help you, and I'm here to help you, but I need to talk to you in an appointment. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.